What's up?
Okay.
What's up, guys? We are back with another video. I can say that it does feel good to be back, just talking about different topics and different things. And I love when we're working in purpose together. That makes me feel good. Even though you wanted to choke me right before we made this video.
We just got done with an argument. Life's been funny.
It's been crazy, yes. Being married, having a child, our baby's like right there.
Yeah.
But today's video is called, Is Love a Feeling or a
Choice?
And man, I think it's ironic because, you know, we just got ready to film this video and, you know, next thing you know, we're bumping heads, and it's like, you know, love really is a choice. And I can say, like, in the beginning of, you know, my past relationships and different things that I was going through, I would go off of my natural feelings and however I felt by default, and it's no reason why none of my relationships last. I
think it's both. I think it's an act, it's a decision, but it's also a feeling. Like the overflow of our love allows us to make that deliberate decision or choice to love even when it's hard. Like the saying goes, is that a Bible saying? What is it? It's for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness, in health, right?
Yeah.
Is it in the Bible?
I think so.
Okay, I know it's in like every marriage vow.
Yeah.
Not in ours, but yes. So I think it's both.
It's funny because when you start off in a relationship, you know, you think about everything, you know, just running so smoothly, everything's running just as you expect it. I mean, you don't really have to try hard. And over the course of time, as you accumulate more pressure and obligation together, it's harder to sustain like that natural feeling of just wanting to love that person every single day. And I think, you know, me and Ari are both arriving at a point where we've just stopped off the exit honeymoon phase is now over.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's safe to say that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yes, the honeymoon phase, I guess you can say, is definitely over. And you know, I think that we thought we were getting like the most real and authentic version of one another, but it's until like these different pressure and just different things that just come on you that you really see, you know, what your significant other is made of. And you know, Ari's seen things in me that aren't so pleasant and vice versa. And that's when you have to ask yourself, you know, am I still capable of loving this person? And you're not gonna feel like it. There's times where, you know, I don't feel like loving Ari on certain days. Not that she's not sweet, she's not pleasant, she's not an amazing person, and it's not that I even regret, you know, getting into this marriage. But there's just days where your natural feelings just don't feel like loving. Yeah.
And the Bible does say the heart, our feelings, it is the most deceitful thing. Who can know it? You know, our feelings, if we rely on those, are so fickle. They just come and go. I mean, one day to the next, you could love the person and then hate them the next.
Yeah.
I swear I feel that. If I was to act out of my feelings, this marriage would not work. So the reason we felt this video was necessary was, yes, because we're dealing with this right now, but also because society has taught us to do whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you happy, follow your heart, you know. And so we are advocates of, no, that's not the right thing to do.
Right.
So yeah,
so
and
relationships, you hear that relationships, you know, they take work, and oftentimes you ask yourself, you know, what work are we talking about here? Like, you know, practically what work are we looking at? What's the assignment? And for me, you know, that work is peeling myself up off the couch when I'm feeling angry or when I'm upset, and, you know, opening a conversation with my wife, you know, and knowing that we're not on the best terms, and trying to make peace with her and love her, you know, despite, you know, whatever we're clashing on. And sometimes, and most of the time, I feel like there's nothing that I've done wrong. And, you know, that's the hardest part, to even then pull yourself up and find the strength in the humility, yes, to, you know, open up the conversation even when she's not willing, and vice versa. Sometimes it goes both ways. But I wanted to touch on something real quick. I was in the shower as we were preparing for this video, and I can remember, you know, being in the backseat of my parents' car, and I remember they were arguing, and I remember the words that were being thrown back and forth, and I remember them saying that the passion is just not there anymore. And really the definition for passion is your own selfish human desire, the things that you yearn for. And if we go off our own passions in a relationship, we're gonna fall short and we're gonna miss the mark. And that's why it's so important to have a biblical foundation to walk with God, to base, you know, your relationship or your marriage off of.
And for me, like this morning, or I should say last night, our baby woke up every hour. And it was because she was uncomfortable, she was hot, or she needed to be changed. Now she's hungry. And yeah, like it takes about 20 minutes to, sometimes it could be up to an hour, just to soothe her and get her back to sleep, you know. So doing so, I'm underslept, I'm tired, I'm stressed, you know. And so in that, I wake up in the mornings and I'm trying to put my best face on, and I'm trying to have the right heart posture, but like he said, real easily I'm like losing my patience, you know. And so that's why I felt we needed to make this video.
Yeah,
because it doesn't feel like it. Like, man, I don't want to be nice, I don't want to be patient, I don't want to love, especially when he gets me upset about something, whether it's the wrong creamer in my coffee or anything small like that, you know. When you're underslept. No, I'm just saying, you know, when you're underslept, any little thing can set you off. And so I am trying to see the bigger picture here and really understand that we made this vow, we made this commitment, we made this decision to act right with each other, to love each other despite our feelings and work through them. And I think that is what makes a victorious marriage.
I believe so.
Same thing with Jesus, right? He didn't feel like going up on that cross and being beaten and doing all of those things, right? But he did it because he knew that that was the commandment of God, of the Father. And because of him, look at all of us reigning in life, right? So same thing with us, you know. If our marriage prospers, then our children will, you know, and it keeps going on and on and on. Yeah, so this is a really big commitment for me because, you know, in my family, all the examples that I've ever had, they're pretty negative. It's either the marriages don't work out, or there's no marriage at all, or there's, you know, fighting and there's never a resolution, you know. So we're really trying to make this different. The generational curse will be broken.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Yes.
Okay, baby.
Baby's fine. Hold on. And I wanted to add on to what you're saying about, you know, just being married within itself. I honestly think, and you know, this is sounds kind of bad to say, but I don't think that me and Ari, we would have probably broken up a long time ago if we weren't married. And that's just the reality of the situation, guys. I mean, we have our differences just like anybody else does, but I want you guys to really take heart to this. I think that we're all just one argument away from ending the relationship entirely. So that's why it's so important for me and Ari to honor our marriage and just to be married in the first place, you know, being that we have a child and you know, we want to keep our family together, and we fight for that. We do everything that we possibly can to keep it together, and not only just to keep it together, but to have it flourish, you know. And it's been a crazy year. Having a child has been it just switched everything up, you know. Literally, there's been a switch that's been off in me, it's been off in Ari, and we're just different people, and we're morphing as one. And even our home situation, the dynamic has changed, and it's so different. So we're adapting to these changes under, you know, high tension, because when that baby starts screaming and she, you know, she just screaming and you don't know what she wants, you know, it can make you tense, it can make you feel frantic, and you know, you're trying to be sweet and pleasant and still be the best husband or wife out of the situation. And it's a lot.
So good.
It smells good.
Yeah.
There's definitely beauty in the struggle of marriage, because, you know, we're pushing past certain things, you know, we're climbing peaks and valleys, and, you know, we're trying our best here to love each other, you know, even when we don't feel like it, because natural feelings say otherwise. Yeah.
Yesterday I was hanging out with a new friend, and she brought this up, you know, like love, this whole love thing, you know, is it a feeling or is it a choice? And she thought it was solely based on a feeling, and she's 28 years old. And so we want to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Is it a feeling or is it a choice, and why? Is it both? I thought it was both. And you know what? I know this seems like an easy question, easy answer, but I just learned this like a year ago, that it was a choice, because I was really used to feeling all of those spontaneous fun feelings, and then once they wore off, I'm like, okay, well, let's move on to the next, or the next exciting thing, you know?
We start blaming each other. You changed. You're just not the same person anymore. You don't do this anymore. And little do we know is that our natural feelings will kind of die out, and it takes, you know, a little bit more work. That doesn't trump the whole idea of compatibility. I think there's compatibility, there's chemistry, there's purpose together that, you know, are also factors in, you know, bringing people together, but it's gonna die out at some point. That's why, you know, we have the honeymoon phase, as they say, you know, and those are those natural feelings that we're talking about.
There's two things I want to mention here. So one of our favorite pastors, Pastor Jimmy Evans, he was saying how every day he wakes up and he has to tell himself, like, no, my wife is the best thing out there. She is beautiful, and the older she gets, the more beautiful she is, and I'm gonna love her. Like, it's a set in stone thing. There's no pretty hot chick that's gonna walk by and change his mind, you know, even though he's gonna feel feelings, because biologically he, as a man, will want to look, you know, but he's trained himself, his heart, his mind, his soul, to stay connected with his wife. So I love that. I love that. And also another thing, and don't quote me because I just heard this from one of my cousins who's like really into that social media stuff and celebrity drama and all that, but from what I hear, Kylie and
Travis Scott,
yeah, so they were together for a while, and they had their beautiful child, Stormy. Super cute. And I guess they just recently decided, like, the passion, the love, it's burned out. The honeymoon stage is essentially over. So they both decided, we're gonna stay friends, you know, but that feeling isn't there anymore, so we're just gonna move on and do our thing. I have my thoughts on that. I don't think that's what you do, but I get it. At one point I did think it was like that, you know. And so Kylie is young, and I don't know if she has any like firm foundation, a good real understanding, like what we're saying you should have. But like he said, you know, if you're not married, if there's no tie, there's no knot, official knot, then it's easy to just be like, okay, you're right, it's just burnt out.
One argument, that's it.
Like, you know, and I get it, they're rich, they're beautiful people, and there's a gazillion people who are dying to be with them. So with that, it's easy to just check out and like, you're right, let's go, let's move on. But yeah, so that, I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I don't think that was the right move. I think you should have pushed through it, just because you don't feel like that's there anymore. That's the mature love. That's where it kicks in. You have to really put in the work, right?
Push through it, yeah.
Yeah, mature love. And then a book, The 5 Love Languages, says there's mature love, and then there's the in love obsession, which usually lasts about 3 years if you're lucky. It's just like all these fun feelings, and it's easy, and then after the 3 years is when the true colors start to come out, and the real pressures of life start to kick in, and you have to work to make this true love. Yeah, true love is, sure, it's true, it's stable, it's what you can count on, right? I want that. I've heard pastors talk about, you know, putting a picture of their wife up in their, you know, their little visor headboard as they're driving home. Pastor Derry. Yeah, our pastor at our home church, he talks about how, you know, he puts a picture of his wife in, you know, in the what is that thing called that flips down? The visor. And, you know, he'll just tell himself as he's, you know, coming home from a long day of work, you know, that's my wife, she is beautiful, I can't wait to come home to her. And, you know, he's just really just putting it in his head, this is my wife. You know, and there's so much temptation all around us. You know, it's so easy to just veer off, and when things get hard at home, you know, to find the easy way out. And I think that's more common than not. But you know, me and Ari are fighting for everything opposite of that. And you know, that's the example that we want to leave behind for our children, and the example that we want to set, you know, for the people that are watching us or that are influenced by us. And yeah, so on our side, love is definitely a choice more than it is a feeling. And I would like to leave you guys with a scripture before we close. And for my Christian peeps out there, this may be a cliche, and you're like, I know, but for those of you guys that don't know,
I just want to leave you guys with this as just something to just meditate on and sit on. Or if you're having trouble in your relationship and things are just kind of hard and you feel like giving up and you know this is the person that you are supposed to be with, this is something to always go back to and just understand and see if you measure up to the word.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like, if you're unsure about something, check with the word first. That's instead of calling your friends.
Everyone needs a Bible.
Yeah. Okay, I'm guilty. I don't do that all the time.
But ideally, that's what you want to do. Okay, love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up. Does not behave rudely. Does not seek its own way, in another translation. Does not insist on its own way, in another translation. Is not provoked. Thinks no evil. Does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices the truth. Bears all things. All things. What are some things that may come up in a relationship? Doesn't matter, because it bears all things. Believes all things. Hopes all things. Endures all things. Love never fails.
Like, everything in there, we all got to work on one of those things.
Right.
For at least one of those things, I should say.
Right. These are, you know, every video that we make, guys, it's not something that we are philosophizing on. It's something that we're dealing with and that we're working out ourselves. So if you feel like, you know, oh my God, I need to shape up, don't feel that way. You know, we're all a work in progress. You know, you just can't go wrong making things right by God and trying to honor God with your relationship or your marriage or just your life entirely. So anyways, we hope that you guys enjoyed this video. We hope that it blesses someone out there that's just this close to just throwing in the towel to their marriage or their relationship. And yeah, share this with a friend or somebody that needs it. But yeah, if you are new here, make sure that you subscribe, turn on the bell notification, and drop your comments below. Let us know if you like this video or your experience with this topic within itself. So,
see you later.
Peace.